In the previous videos, I focused extensively on the development of the industrial sites of the city. I built a mining rig, an octagonal coal and ore mining site, the stone quarries dug right into the foothills of the mountains, and the Olicomb, the city's main oil drilling site. All of these specialized industrial sites are complemented with generic zone factories, so they all supply each other with the materials they need to function. What this industrial site is missing, however, is a rail connection. Dedicated, faster and more efficient way to export and import cargo. So that's what I'll be working on this video. I'll also develop other parts of the city later in this time-lapse. Before building the cargo terminal, we have to place a rail yard. This is a moderately large asset, so I decided to place it far away from the city center, on the northern shore of the river. I extend a road here from the main layout temporarily, so I can use the same grid that I've been using in the rest of the city. One of the sides of the rail yard extends towards the sea, which is still undeveloped territory, and the other into the map's regional railway, which we have to connect to the city somehow. I designed the circular layout that kinda works as a roundabout, or in this case, as a railabout. From here, trains can go into both ways of the international rail, which lead to a couple of the adjacent cities. Another direction leading towards the circuit board, where the industries are located, and the fourth direction towards the rail yard, where trains go into maintenance, or pass the rail yard completely and travel further towards the sea, where we can build something later. The city rail connects to the railabout from the inside with a tunnel, and I connect everything with an intricate set of rail connections. This may all seem a bit random now, but I'll show you all the main routes trains can take later in the video to kinda show you my thought process behind this, so you might want to stick around for that. Hopefully this design will handle all train traffic, but if not, we can always adjust. Now, for the cargo terminal, I wasn't sure where to place this, but I settled for the foothills of the mountain, north of the Olicomb. I give it plenty of room for extensions like the storage yards and the extra rail, but it's otherwise a very simple layout providing cargo access to this entire area of the city. The rail extends past this point, towards the city, and will lead into the downtown area where the train network will continue. After taking care of the rail, I work on increasing the population of the city and answer the different zone demands, which is something that I've been neglecting. Eventually, I fill the entire existing road layout with residential and low-density offices and small shops on the main avenue and collector road. I turn one of the blocks into a custom park and decorate accordingly. Finally, I conclude the development of the OLE comp by building some tarmac roads and main accesses, and adding some blocks of generics on industry to complement the oil fields. For the purpose of decorating, I built a pathway network surrounding the entire field, and added some details like a shelter and a water tower right next to the oil drilling sites. Water never tasted any better. In the real world, train intersections take enormous amounts of space, so I think the area where I place a rail yard is suitable, as it's far away from the main metropole. The area also has a big forest and ore deposits, which can be exploited later for industrial expansion. Regarding the intersection design, I think I pretty much covered all possible travel options. Yes, it could be a bit simpler, with more direct connections, but I wanted to build something cool and unique, and faithful to the city's grid, which is made up of 45-degree angle changes, something that's represented here. I established two different cargo train routes to the neighbor cities with the intent of incentivizing international trade by rail, but unfortunately, it does not seem to be working as intended because trains travel empty most of the time. There are some rare occasions where I found some importation going on, with trains bringing a small quantity of goods into the city, but they never seem to be taking anything back to the other cities, despite the large quantities of natural resources that we're producing. The cargo terminal is being used extensively, however, by the local industries, with trucks constantly coming in and out of the station, delivering and taking out goods. The station is basically being used as a giant warehouse/marketplace, where the different city businesses trade their goods with each other by truck, and not as the international rail trade point with other cities, as it was originally intended, which is a bit disappointing. A similar economic and industrial imbalance seems to be happening at the OLE comp, where I placed a district of generic industries to complement the oil mining specialization. However, I found the industrial production to be extremely random, as the area got rich in factories that produce furniture and textiles, using resources that I'm not producing locally in the city, and not a single petrochemical plant spawned here to take advantage of the oil that is being extracted, literally right across the street. These are things that are honestly a bit disappointing, but perhaps it is something that will balance itself out as the game receives more updates. Other than that, I like how the areas turn out aesthetically. I tried to add as much detail as I could with the limited assets that I had, but I think what made this area much richer is the pathway network. It's not being heavily used by pedestrians, understandably, and it serves mostly a decorative purpose. I layered some areas with trees and others without trees, and we'll have to wait until they grow to see how everything turns out. For the Midtown region, as you can see, we pretty much populated the entire road layout, so I'll have to build more roads next time I need to expand the city. I zoned a lot of both low density and mid density residential, but I did this only because I had a lot of low density demand, and eventually I want this entire area to be mid-density only, because I like how those American-style houses look like next to each other. Even though a lot of you guys don't like those because buildings all look the same, which is a valid point. But overall, these developments increased the city population from 6,000 to 8.2 thousand, and it reached the small city milestone in the meanwhile. Speaking of which, I've unlocked a new signature building for mid-density residential, which is always good to place whenever you have those available because it's basically a free happiness buff for the city. There's also this cool custom park I've built. The pathway network kinda resembles a microchip, which is quite fitting for the theme of the city, so it can be called the microchip park. Unfortunately, we'll have to wait for the trees to grow to see the full atmosphere of the park, but I tried to mix in several types of trees, as well as a lot of bushes. That will be it for this video. Thank you for watching it all the way until the end, and let me know what you thought of it in the comments. Hope to see you again in the next one, and until then, have fun!